the chairperson of today's program, Mr. CBCM, the Senior Vice President of Ribhoi Dorbar, our senior leader and a father figure to each and every one of us, Sir Dr. Didi Lapang, Chief Advisor to Government of Meghalaya, all the honorable MLAs who are present here on the dais, the President, Secretary, and all the office bearers of the Ribhoi Dorbar, Reverend Father Mitchell Makri, who has come here and offered the opening prayers and the blessings, all the dignitaries who are present here on the dais, CM Riot, CM Lingdo Riot, and the Rangbash Nongs, and the Bangthais, and all the headmens from different villages who have come here today, and all my dear students and dear friends who are present here on this very, very important occasion. First of all, I must thank the Ribhoi Dorbar for having invited me here for this program today. We had planned this program about almost a month back to be hosted in the month of December. But due to different circumstances and different events and situations, we were not able to host it during that time. But I do thank Almighty God for giving us this wonderful time and this day, for bringing us all together. And I would like to repeat what Sir Dr. Didi Lapang has said. It is so wonderful to see in the same platform leaders from different political backgrounds and different political parties. And yet here today on the dais, coming together for the cause of the people of Ribhoi district. I think it's a wonderful sight. And it just shows how much each and every individual who's sitting here today, they might have fought in elections against each other. But when it comes to the issues of Ribhoi district, they have decided to let go of those differences and work unitedly to take the district forward. I think it's a great example for every district in the state and for the entire population of our state of Meghalaya. So I must thank the Ribhoi Dorbar for really taking this wonderful initiative and bringing each and every one of us here together. As our local MLA was mentioning, Merelbon CM was mentioning, that yes, I think we are for the first time sitting so close to each other. Otherwise in assembly, we are very far away. He is on that corner and I am on this corner. And we fight. And we argue. But it's all for the state and for the people of our state that we fight, because we try to bring out the best that we can. Our intentions are the same, and that is why I'm so happy today to see Merelbon also here with us, and all leaders from so many political parties here with us. Another thing I want to mention, and it's so great to see, we have Mr. D. Lamare, who I'm guessing is about 26 years old. We have Mr. Merelbon CM, who I'm guessing is about 38 years old. We have Mr. Jason Sokme, I think who's about 28 years old. George is not here, but George Lingdo must be about 35 years old. And Basotun, actually, he's the oldest among the MLAs. He's 45 years old. Do you see the age group that you have out here? People Ribhoi have decided that they want to have young people to represent them. I'm not saying that old people are not important, but they want to see young leadership come up. And these people are from different political parties. I think it shows the forward-looking, mindset, the futuristic mindset of the people of Ribhoi. That you want to bring young, dynamic people to be there to represent you so that they can work for you. I think it's a great sight and a great example, once again, for this district. And at the same time, we are seeing people like Sir Dr. Didi Lapang and others, so many senior people here, right with them, to guide them, to support them, to take that vision forward and to work together. I'm so sorry I'm taking so much time in explaining this, but I'm truly touched by seeing the kind of unity and kind of work and the kind of commitment that everybody has to take the Ribhoi district forward. And let me assure you that as a government and as the Chief Minister of the state, we are with you, we are behind you, and we will work along with you in every step of the way. I know that there are many issues that have been there concerning Ribhoi district. I would like to just mention about the aims and objectives for which the Ribhoi Darbar was brought out. It's for the unity of Ribhoi district. And I think we can all see the unity out here. There's the issue of interstate boundary problem, which I think Sir Dr. Didi Lapang has very appropriately mentioned. About the issue of Block 2 was very, very clearly mentioned. And let me tell you, as a government, we are very much concerned. And time and again, this issue has been discussed at many forums, officially, unofficially. This is an important issue, an issue that has really been there for many, many years. And consecutive governments have been trying to find ways and means of resolving these issues. I know that at the end of the day, it is the people at the border area who face the brunt and the difficulty and the challenges of these issues and complications. It's not that easy to resolve this issue. But let me tell you, as a government, we are committed to move forward in this. We're committed to continue fighting and to ensure that our people in the border area do not suffer. So, sir, as you have mentioned it, as many of the other MLAs have mentioned, this is an issue that we are taking on priority basis. It's an issue that we are always concerned with, and we will do our best to find ways and means to resolve this issue. So at the same time, I know that you have mentioned about different development issues that are there in this district. I was trying to keep up with Ba Merelbon when he was talking about the different programs, but sadly the paper ran out. I didn't have any more space to write. But it shows the concern that as a young legislature, he has for his constituency, for each and every one of you. And all the other MLAs, they've mentioned so many different points. Ribhoi district, out of 115 districts throughout the country, and out of the 11 districts in Meghalaya, has been very appropriately selected as an aspirational district. What happens when you select it as an aspirational district? As an aspirational district, top priority is given by Government of India and the Government of Meghalaya in terms of ensuring that development aspects come to that aspirational district. It has been selected on the basis of knowing the economic condition of the people out here and how to take it forward to a new level. I'm very happy to inform you that under the aspirational district in Jerang constituency, Government of India has sanctioned 11 crores for a new college to be put up. Foundation stone was supposed to be laid by Honorable Prime Minister himself, but due to different circumstances, the program was postponed. But I'm sure that the program will go ahead. Government of India has already approved the program of setting up this college. And not only this college, there will be a Eklavya model of residential school that has also been approved. There is a 20 crore scheme under the Tribal Affairs Ministry has been approved for Riboi district. Another school that will come up, especially for the Riboi, especially for tribal areas and for tribal children, being funded 100% by Government of India. And not only the infrastructure development, but even development in terms of, but even the running expenditure, a monthly and an annual fees and annual money will be supported by the Tribal Affairs Ministry. I know that roads are very important. And as was mentioned by the Nongpo MLA, that this financial year 2018-19, Meghalaya received an, I should say, a really very, very high amount compared to the last few financial years. We got a record amount of almost 600 crores in terms of PMGSY schemes in this financial year, compared to 150 and 170 in the last few years. So with this PMGSY money, we'll be able to connect a number of villages that are not connected yet. The Umsning Jagi Road connectivity has also been approved at an amount of 85 crores. And I know that the other roads also are there, which was mentioned by the Nongpo MLA. But yes, it is difficult for us to do everything in 9 months. It does take time. But I can assure you that there is a very, very strong and a very, very focused effort by the government of Meghalaya to ensure that road connectivity is given top priority, infrastructure is given top priority in our state. I know that there are a number of casual workers, which was mentioned by the local MLA, who have been suffering for a very long time. In the last month, the cabinet in its meeting decided that the minimum wage that they were receiving, I forgot the exact amount, it was 170, I think 60 or 70, has been increased by almost doubling it to almost 300 plus rupees. So the minimum wage of the state now has almost been doubled. And this has been done because we feel that the amount that the casual workers get is very low compared to the other parts of the country. So now we are at par with the other parts of the country. There are some challenges we face when it comes to payment of ASHA workers, because there were some schemes that were started earlier and then stopped. Some schemes which were not paid in between. And now suddenly when 2018 came, all of those schemes which are not paid in the beginning, all of the schemes which are stopped by Government of India, the entire burden came on the government of the day in 2018. And the amounts are quite huge. And that is why to clear these backlogs, it is taking us some time. But that does not mean that we are not worried about them, we don't care about them, we do. And that is why periodically we have been releasing the amounts to them, even though these are amounts not accumulated for this financial year. These are historic debts, historic burdens that are there, which we need to clear. But the government is government, it is our responsibility, whether it's for this year, for the past years, and we take that responsibility. And I assure you that we are in the process of streamlining things. We believe that the ASHA workers are the pillar and the main strength when it comes to health sector. And we want the ASHA workers to really be motivated and to be able to provide the health services at the grassroots level. So therefore, yes, it's an important issue. I'm definitely very concerned about it. I can assure you that our government will take up this matter and ensure that this is resolved at the earliest. There are many other issues that were brought out. I am so sorry I will not be able to go into all of them because, there are a number of them. But I have noted them all down I have received all the applications and the memorandums, and I can assure you that we will work towards trying to resolve them at the earliest. At the same time, I would like to mention that Riboi district, I personally, as the Chief Minister of the state, I feel that Riboi district has a huge potential. And the potential is there simply not just because of the agriculture potential you have, or the different resources that are there in the Riboi district, or not just because of the people that are here. All these are advantages you have. But I think a geographical advantage, the location advantage that Riboi district has, is something that we can really take advantage of, which will allow more economic development in the region, more economic development in the district, and more creation of jobs for our youth in the district out here. It'll be inappropriate for me to share all the plans that we have, but as the time goes, I can assure you that you will see the kind of plans that we have, and we feel that Riboi district is something that can really become one of the economic hubs for the state of Meghalaya, and not just state of Meghalaya, but for the entire region of the Northeast. This is really my vision, and we are going to work towards that particular vision also. Apart from that, there were specific memorandums that were put in by the Riboi Darbar. I would like to tell you that as a government, we are very concerned and we want to take administration closer to the people. In my endeavor to ensure that administration reaches closer to the people, I have a video conferencing review meeting every month with all the deputy commissioners every second Tuesday. And the deputy commissioners don't come to Shillong. They are in Nongpo, in Bakmara, in William Nagar, in Clariat, in Jowai, and only on video conferencing and on TV, we talk to each other. But this happens every month. Every second Tuesday, it is mandatory to meet all the deputy commissioners, and I take direct feedback about different schemes that are being implemented by the departments at the district level through the video conferencing. This is just one example to show you that only when we directly connect with the district administration and with officials at the district level can we ensure that development reaches the people. This is the objective of this government. In fact, we are also starting a new process where, as Chief Minister, I am moving with the administration, with the officials to different districts. The first district that we are going to start with, where the Chief Secretary and 2 cabinet ministers and the additional Chief Secretary Finance and the DG Police, we are all going together and going to spend 2 to 3 days in South Garo Hills in Bakmara. We're going to stay the night out there, meet the people out there, visit different programs, have review meetings with the officials out there to really understand what Bakmara and South Garo Hills district, the difficulties that they're going through. Because I feel that it is only when you go and see it with your own eyes do you realize the difficulty of the people. So we are starting this on 22nd, 23rd, 24th. We will be in Bakmara and we're starting with South Garo Hills district. I hope to continue this program and have monthly or once in 2 month visit to different districts where we spend 2-3 days and nights in the districts and connect with the people. So therefore, when you tell me about having more subdivisions and CRD blocks, I am with you in your ideas and your thoughts of ensuring that these infrastructures come up so that the public can benefit. But my friends, I think you all are aware that these kind of infrastructures do require financial involvement. And the financial involvement is not something that is very small. So therefore, that is a challenge that we face. But that does not mean that we will stop the implementation of these at the grassroots level. These are definitely very important CNRD blocks, very important civil subdivision. Our Honorable MLA from Jerang constituency, Mr. Sostenes Soton, has been time and again reminding me about the Patarkama civil subdivision demand. In fact, he has come to me before the election also, during the election also, and after the election also. So I am very much aware about the issue. I have visited these locations myself. I have seen the difficulty that the people face, and really it is something that is important to me, and definitely it is something